We'll do that one.
All right, we can go ahead and ask. Ladies, can you name one reason why men should get married in today's day and age? And if you can't name anything, that's cool too.
Let's start here.
A reason men should get married?
Yeah.
To have a girl that can...
What?
To have a girl that can just do all the basic things that take extra time off their hands. Like any girl that can help out a guy with basic things to make his life easier. Do you know what I mean? I feel like I worded that a little weird in the beginning, but any girl that can make a guy's life
question
easier.
one more time.
So the reason is to get like basic needs met.
Is that all that marriage is for?
Okay, I think a better question is this, bro. Name one benefit that a guy gets through marriage in the West that he wouldn't get through a regular relationship. That's a better way to phrase it.
Having an easier life and someone that can maybe emotionally support him, do all the small things, do all the things.
Would you get that in a relationship?
Wait, can you say that again?
You can get that in a relationship without being married.
You can, but...
Here's a but.
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Here's a but.
Is there anything that any of you guys can think of where a guy would get a benefit of being married that he wouldn't get in a regular relationship?
I could say that it depends when you find the right girl, because I always say, and I've heard it a lot of times before. If she's the right girl, won't you get in a relationship without a marriage? Marriage is like a business. So when you put your finances together and when you put your strategy together for life and you actually team up together, then it can become a strategic plan for your life. But if it's just somebody for the benefit of having comfort, having sex, having your home taken care of, that's when it starts actually becoming a loss in your life.
But does it benefit a guy to combine his money with a girl, when a lot of the times men bring more money than women?
So that's why I think that that's when it comes in with the whole strategy for life. So when you guys are teammates and you guys have a common mission, a common purpose, and you both have these strengths that you guys can fill in each other's gaps. Like, for example, with my husband, like, he doesn't have a lot of the strategy part, but he's a strategy in terms of like connecting to market, connecting to emotions, and the appeal to where it kind of takes more of a feminine approach for that kind of things. But then he's more like, okay, I can handle the finances. I need to know closing the sales. need to know this stuff. So
he could get that out of you with you being his girlfriend, realistically speaking. He doesn't have to marry you to get that benefit, being honest.
Yeah.
So the question, ladies, is specifically, what would they get out of marriage that would benefit them that they can't get out of a relationship?
Yeah, I guess, the marriage is just a piece of paper.
Okay.
So,
Can anyone think of anything?
Marriage is a promise, no?
I guess you can make that argument.
I think that it's a contract as well.
Promise to what?
Promise to both being loyal to each other and like fulfilling the common goals.
What benefit does the guy get that he wouldn't get in a regular relationship, though?
Okay, so I think that with anybody in a relationship.
Just for her.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah.
No, it's good.
No.
Okay. Oh, she didn't have anything.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that when it comes to having a partner, the luxury of having a partner or a village or a community in your life is the fact that you can lean on someone when you're weak in certain areas, and then they have those strengths in the areas that you're weak and vice versa. So I think that having a partner, it means that.
But you're getting that in a relationship without the marriage title. The question is specifically.
I mean, yes, but I think that it goes based off of preference. Marriage is a complete and total business deal at the end of the day. Like, it is just creating.
Without signing a contract, you can get all those benefits.
You can get all those benefits without signing the contract.
But that's why I'm saying it depends on preference. It doesn't necessarily, because some people.
Oh.
No, I'm saying that because my mom, she's been with her boyfriend for 12 years. They have no desire on getting married. My mom has been married before to my father. So, and I've asked her plenty of times, well, you don't want to marry him? And she'd be like, no, I really don't. And I'll ask him and he'll say the same thing. So I just think it depends on preference, because I know.
Translation, he don't want to get married. Exactly.
No. It was my mother.
Really?
Yeah, no tea, no shade, sir. Anyways, I just think that when it comes to marriage, because I have grandparents, my grandma's about to be 100 in November.
Wow.
She spent 80 years with my grandfather before he passed away. So I think it depends on preference, but mostly strengths and weaknesses with what your partner and you have.
That didn't answer the question at all.
I wanted to answer your question.
Okay. One benefit.
Yeah, exclusively to marriage, and that union, I
Yeah.
was going to say some people don't fully devote themselves in the relationship status as they would once it's finally like a marriage and union.
That benefits the man?
But yeah, if
Really?
you have a fully devoted wife, like that's what I'm saying. Some people don't give or, you know, kind of show off or do as much as they would until that, you know.
Let me ask you a question. Who's likely to work harder? An employee that has a job that is guaranteed in their tenure, they can't be fired? Or someone whose position is unsure?
Who would work harder?
Yeah.
Probably the person whose position is unsure. So they want to keep their job.
Oh, so wouldn't it be fair to say by that same analogy that a girlfriend is probably going to be work harder than a wife would?
Not necessarily.
Why?
Yeah, I could.
You know, because some women may believe, you know, they're not going to cook for a man until they're, you know, that wife status, or they may not do XYZ or help out in XYZ way until they become a wife. They're given that status of a wife. So, you know, I was saying,
if you're trying to get a job, or if you're in a position and you want to get promoted, wouldn't it be fair to say that you need to do what that position requires before you get the job?
if you look at it from a job promotion type standpoint.
Yeah, but isn't that what promoting a girlfriend to a wife is?
I mean, not
Realistically
necessarily.
speaking, no. Why not?
Because that's what I'm saying. Some guys will make her the wife if they want, you know, based off what she says, you know, I'm not going to do X, Y, Z till you make me a wife. Then they're going to.
But is that a man that a woman actually wants that doesn't have the ability to dictate terms? She's running the relationship if he's on her terms like that.
Not necessarily.
Men get into
Really?
relationships all the time with women who don't do certain things.
But do those
and
men?
they're made a wife.
So I think what he's saying
But
is
do
that
those women
falling out-
actually respect their husband?
Be honest.
Realistically speaking, if you can bully him around like that and say, I am not going to do X, Y, Z
I won't.
unless this happens, who has the power?
I don't think it's
Hold
about.
on. Who has the power?
In that situation, you could say that she holds power.
Okay, now,
but there might be
hold on.
other
Hold on.
rules.
Hold on. That's
you
very
know.
important. You're saying that she holds the power. What are women attracted to? When they have the power or when the man has the power?
When a man has the power.
Ah.
There you go.
So wouldn't it be fair to say
But
that if
that's
she has the power and she's
situational.
able to do that?
It might not apply to every single situation where she has the
Generally.
power over the man.
Generally, though.
Or
If she's
generally
able to
speaking.
dictate something that important, like marriage, where that guy is going to put himself in a compromising situation and lose half his assets if this doesn't work out, I would argue she has an overwhelming amount of the power. She's able to bully him into marriage.
bully into marriage.
That's absolutely what it is. She's
I don't
bullying him
like
into
that
marriage.
word.
What?
I feel like it's setting a standard. It doesn't have to be bullying.
If he doesn't want to
If
get
you
married,
care about somebody, you're not thinking about, oh, well, I need to protect my. And I'm saying this. Take my words with a grain of salt, or for lack of better
Trust
words,
me, we do.
you're not. No tea, no shade.
See, I'm funny,
Be
right?
quiet.
I'm funny. I'm funny, right? There
You
go.
are. But in all seriousness, I think that sometimes women have a certain standard, and some men that may not live up to that standard are not prepared to hear things that they're not ready for or haven't experienced. They say, well, listen, I'm okay with X, Y, and Z. Are you okay with that? It's important to meet a partner that's okay with your standards. It has nothing to do with saying, because I'm not, like you just said, I'm not dating a man that I can run over. I don't think that's attractive at all. I
Okay.
want you to lead with reason and not be led by a blind horse. But at the same time, my standards shouldn't offend you. They should motivate you.
well, here's the thing. Women are blind horses. And what I mean by this
Uh-oh.
is that, the controversial take, women are blind horses. And what I mean by that is that women are ruled by their emotions, okay? She might feel, I want to get married. With the translation, I want the wedding and I want the ceremony, etc. But do they want to actually be a wife? I would argue most women don't. And if a woman sits there and says, I'm only going to cook and clean for you or have these wife duties, if you elevate me to wife, that's ridiculous.
Red flag.
That's ludicrous. Can you go into your job and say, promote me to CEO?
Then I'll become
And then
that
I'll
person.
become that person. No, but we live in a crazy clown world where women are able to dictate terms and tell you, this is what I want, right? And then your dumbass is supposed to go ahead and give them what they want without them necessarily meeting their requirements. Could you imagine?
I mean,
if,
yeah,
hold on. Like, again, this is why female logic doesn't make sense. Could you imagine if you could walk into your employer's office and say, look, man, I want my salary tripled. I want these XYZ benefits. And then, and only then, I'm going to go ahead and complete my duties. And on top of that, by the way, I reserve the right to stop those duties at any time and still get my salary and pension.
Yep.
Would that employer actually allow you to do that? Yes or no?
No.
The answer is a profound no.
Okay, no, but
Hold on. The answer is a profound no. That is exactly what marriage is. And that's what I mean when I say these women bully the men into the marriage, because marriage, realistically speaking, it was a trick question, ladies, doesn't benefit men at all. You can get everything that a woman provides without the confinements of marriage in today's day and age, especially with the way women are as far as, you know, promiscuity and having sex. So it really doesn't benefit men at all. It actually puts them in a detriment. And that's why I'm arguing, if you're able to tell a man, I'm not going to cook and clean or display these wife duties until you elevate me to wife, and he actually complies with that, you ain't going to respect him in the first place. Because that tells me he doesn't have leverage to tell you what the fuck it really is. If you are working at a Fortune 500 company or a prestigious law firm, you can't tell them, I'm going to be a partner and I'm going to do this after the fact. They're going to tell you, get the fuck out of here. We have other qualified employees that are better than you that we can hire that will gladly take your job. Then, and only then, will you respect that position because you could be replaced.
It wasn't a point to just say, oh, I'm never going to do anything. I'm just going to be a horrible girlfriend until I'm a wife or whatever. But it's like, it's more so you're not going to
Well, if you're not cooking and cleaning, you're a horrible girlfriend by default.
That's facts, yeah.
But that's what
That's
what I'm
basic
saying
duties.
what are the
I
rules
think
and
that's
responsibilities
basic duties
of a
of
girlfriend,
living.
and what are the rules and responsibilities of a wife, and what's the difference? Why would men get married if there's ultimately no difference?
For the
Outside
girl.
of that,
So also, question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yourself dating. You ever been in love?
Yeah.
Okay, question. When you're dating that guy, did you do wifely duties off rip?
Yes, I did.
So what?
But
You
that's me.
But you didn't need marriage, right?
No.
Why?
Because I did it because I wanted to, not because I felt
Exactly.
obligated.
So marriage
obligated
is
to.
going to be based off of your preference or in your head what you think it should be, which means, as by default, you love somebody regardless of the facts. So if you're telling men you need to get married because if you don't, I won't become that wife, what are you really saying? You're saying that on some level, as a red flag, I'm going to change because it's going to benefit me in the future. Versus you love him generally, you're going to do it regardless.
Yeah, but
And not only that-
I asked, what are the responsibilities and roles of a girlfriend compared to what are the roles and responsibilities of a wife? And why would men get married if there's ultimately no
What if I
difference?
told you, Tricky? They're the same.
You're the same.
They're the
Yeah.
same.
Yep.
So that's
So
why
And
how
that's,
is
and
it
that's where so
different?
many girls fuck up. Like they think, oh, I'm going to behave like a wife after I become a wife. That's why a lot of chicks don't get married.
That's
because
facts.
guys are looking at it like, wait, you can't even do the job and you want the promotion? But only in America and in the West do we allow women to have crazy standards where they're able to demand things without providing the value
That's
back.
not even just in the West,
yeah,
though. They
it's
practice
not.
this in lots of other cultures. In African cultures, Nigerian weddings, they have to give money, give gifts, give
Hold on,
promises
but what are they?
to the
What are,
wife.
hold on. Let's put some onus on the females. What are they getting back in exchange from that woman? They're getting a virgin. They're getting a woman that comes from a two-parent household. They're getting a woman that understands basic rudimentary things of cooking and cleaning, not
correction,
talking
they
back,
don't
not
always
interrupting.
get a
Stop for 2
virgin.
seconds. Okay? They're getting a woman that has some semblance of traditional values in exchange for them doing that. So my thing is, if y'all want to use marriage as the crutch, is the guy really getting a fair return back? The answer in the West in general is a no.
So is
Yeah,
it only in Western culture where women get or have sex before marriage? Is that the only difference? That's the
Mostly.
only difference that I heard.
It happens a lot in the West because we've decentivized sex. I mean, we asked you guys a bunch of you guys openly speak about sex with your parents.
Yeah.
In other places, that's a big fucking profound, like that's a
That's
no
an L, yeah.
So here in the West, we've sexualized women and it's open and that's fine. But what I am saying is that you can't sit here and be progressive in that aspect, but then want to be regressive in other aspects such as marriage.
I think that a huge thing that people are getting caught up on is like in Western society, marriage is such a huge construct because it involves these contracts and it does involve putting your finances together and tying yourself, and then getting unmarried is so complicated. So the preference
And it only,
of,
hold on. You're missing one important thing. It only benefits women.
and so the preference of what a marriage is
I love
is
how she didn't
to-
address that.
Yeah, because I'm thinking about it, and what you're saying, it makes sense because what the preference of what people want a marriage for. And I've also heard men say they want a marriage and then the woman is saying no. So I've heard that before. But I think what people are
That's fair.
tying
They've
the
been brainwashed.
what people are
That's fair.
tying marriage to is monogamy. And so they're like, okay, if this person marries me, they have to be with me for the rest of their life. And so that's like a preference that they put on it. Or if this person marries me, then our finances are going. And that's another perspective that some girls take. So they're like,
notice,
okay,
hold on. Both those things you just mentioned, monogamy and finances being tied together, who does that inherently benefit?
But I'm saying...
Hold on, that's important.
Yeah, that's
Who
what
does
I'm
it
saying.
benefit?
That's the man's perspective on when a man wants the girl to be married, it's because they want the girl to be locked down.
Yes.
No.
On some level.
No, that is
not
true.
some
That's what I.
level.
That's
The
what
two
I've
things
heard
you
from
just
men.
mentioned.
And then for girls,
hold on, stop. Because we actually, because if we're gonna have this conversation, we need to look at it from a holistic standpoint. What you just mentioned, the monogamy and then combining of the finances. Who does that benefit?
Right. So
the women most of the time.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I totally agree with you, and that's what I'm saying. That's the question was about Western society, and this is
the question is what benefits men
in Western society, right? Marriage.
No. So you guys don't even remember the question. It started first was basically relationships. What would you bring to a relationship in a marriage or whatever? But it was a little hard for you guys to understand, so I rephrased it so it makes more sense. Name one benefit that a guy would get in a marriage that he wouldn't get in a regular relationship.
Okay.
That's how this started.
So that's what I'm saying. There are men who have the construction that, okay, if I lock this girl down, she's going to be monogamous to me, and then that's the only reason that they're proposing. And that's, men get tricked into that for that reason. Otherwise, a girl is also looking for the same thing. She wants monogamy, or it could be the finances thing. She wants the finances tied together, right? So it could be one or the other thing. But what like overall,
the first thing you mentioned with he wants a monogamy from the girl, he's doing that because she's threatening to leave, like she had mentioned, and then she had mentioned.
Yeah, or societies, or the built-in
because
fear.
women bully men into marriage all the time.
But I also disagree
if you
with
don't
your
marry me,
statement
I'm
about
leaving.
them bullying, though.
That's quite literally bullying. You're telling him if you don't, you're giving him an ultimatum.
Yeah.
To do something
So
that he doesn't
I
want to do.
wouldn't give an ultimatum. I think that it's important to state your desires, what you want in a relationship on the first date or when you communicate with somebody before you move forward and say this is an ultimatum.
That's easy to say in 2020 hindsight, but how many times do girls end up in a relationship with a guy? It goes 1 year, 2 years. Okay, but I'm saying in general because I've talked to a million women about this.
Right.
They've been going for 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Oh, he's not marrying me. They threaten the guy. If you don't marry me, I am going to leave.
I think that anybody that puts you in an ultimatum is selfish and they don't want to be with you.
But I've also heard that guys don't need 3, 4, 5 years to determine whether or not they're gonna.
They don't. But you made a good point. If the guy's pushing for marriage, it's because 1, he wants to tie you down and not lose you.
Yes.
But 2, what he's saying is, for example, the girl's saying to him, "Oh, if you don't marry me, I'm gonna leave."
Exactly.
That's a tactic to kind of tie you down as well.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
On both ends.
It's like on both sides. That's what I'm saying. Because there are some weak men who do allow girls to manipulate them, and they're like, this girl is going to leave me. I'm going to be by myself, so I have to lock it down. So it's not just the girl wanting marriage. Sometimes it's guys that aren't thinking clearly, and they're just like,
he wants
okay,
marriage in response to a threat of her leaving. That's way different than
right.
She wants the marriage, he doesn't. She threatens to leave. Now his goal shifts because he understands if I don't commit to her, she's gonna leave me. She has the power.
Or his parents or something put that thought, and the girl didn't even say something.
It's the woman most of the time, man. Let's just keep it a million. It's women that want to walk down the aisle in a white dress and spend a bunch of money on a ceremony, and you know what I mean. It's what women want. And guys are stupid and go ahead and actually marry women. But the reality is, if your girl is able to bully you or tell you this is the ultimatum and you actually comply, she never liked you like that in the first place. You don't have any power. You don't have any leverage. And women don't respect that. That's why most marriages end in divorce anyway.
What's so funny, Foot Locker?
Would you plan on getting married?
Foot Locker is crazy. I would have preferred you calling me a ref.
Oh, that's a good one too.
Yeah.
Or
like, what's your
I just think
viewpoint
that
on
it's funny because I've seen men also manipulate women and make them feel like they have to commit and lie and cheat and be deceitful.
Commit in what way? Not through marriage.
In marriage?
Typically not through marriage.
I have.
Really?
How?
I have.
How?
What do you mean how?
But is that
I've
the
seen a
norm?
man
Is that the
force a
norm?
woman into a marriage and maybe
You've
cheat
seen
on them
it,
or
but
control.
is that the norm?
No, it's not the norm.
That's my point. It's the women that are typically angling for
So
marriage, not
I
men.
think that, can I be honest? I don't want to offend anybody, but I think that men have a lack of accountability. We are all adults when we enter a relationship. And I think that nobody I think women can be intimidating, but nobody can bully you into a relationship. Y'all know that y'all don't want to be in relationships. And instead of saying, hey, this is not what I want, you guys go through with it.
Yeah, you're right.
And then long term, you wake up 36 years later, unhappy as fuck with your 4 kids, living in the suburbs of Rhode Island, wondering why this isn't what you wanted or what you desired. And then you meet a redhead on Rodeo Drive in California on a business trip, and then you think this is all of what you need.
Who hurt you?
I mean,
no, nobody hurt me. I'm just saying that a lot of times men don't. I think that because you guys are so out of touch with your feelings, y'all don't realize.
This sounds
and
like
think,
to me they want new pussy, man. So if they give them new pussy, that should be fine, right?
When you experience, but another thing that y'all need to wake up to, y'all are not a commodity, a hot commodity in the sense women naturally are. And I'm not saying that in a bad thing. I'm saying that in the sense that pussy wants the world. We all know that, which is why you guys are making the point that, okay, women can bully a man into a relationship. It's not necessarily bullying.
Yeah,
you guys come out of the womb being expected to fuck your feelings. You're supposed to produce, whether it means work, money, or whatever the case is. But when y'all are pushed into that, you're not thinking about your emotions. That's why you wake up 36 years later wondering why you're on Rodeo Drive worrying about Andy.
Who's on Rodeo Drive right now?
I'm giving
emotional damage.
I take it back.
I'm giving a hypothetical. I don't know anybody from California.
Tyrone? I take it back. You are kind of funny.
I know.
Thank you. No, but for real though, I don't know nobody from California, so please don't quote me. I'm just saying that I've heard stories and I've read things and I've met people that really feel like, damn. I've met men that are unhappy with their lives, and rather than them thinking that one thought back then of, oh, girl was like, damn, I don't really want to be with her because this girl makes me feel X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Y'all convince yourselves it's the woman's fault and not your own.
No, not even. They just stay and
Do
they
you
just
ever
put up with it.
do you ever think
real
that
quick, let me
guys
address-
get
hold on,
married to
hold
a
on.
woman for money?
Let me address. Almost never. Men don't give a shit about female money.
Yeah, it's 20/80 in essence.
Yeah, men don't care about
90-10.
females' money.
Your
And most women
viewpoint.
that have
No, you
money,
ain't tricking if you got it.
and most women that have money are intelligent enough to not marry a man that makes less money than themselves.
Okay.
Typically, men are the only ones that are idiots that don't marry that marry a chick that makes significantly less. To your situation with the guy waking up later on in life, I agree with you. Most guys don't take accountability and they let a woman bully them into a bad situation and they get fucked up and they don't realize until later on.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you on that. But that's why podcasts like this are very important. We tell guys to understand their value, and I would argue that because you're saying women are I would argue I think men are the prize once you reach a certain spectrum. But it's the women that are chasing the relationships. It's just that guys don't understand that women are chasing the relationships, and they don't make women wait for relationships. Just like, girls control sex, men control relationships, and then not enough guys understand their value.
Okay, I can see that.
But yes, I agree with you that it's a lack of accountability of understanding their value, and that's why they end up with predatory or shitty girlfriends.
Yeah, they allow it to happen. Or they just
So we agree with you on that.
Or they're just
like girls that
complacent.
date broke niggas and fall in love with them. I'm not promoting that. I'm just saying like
I've read
You
like
date
a few
somebody that's-
times, and I actually went through like coaching programs and stuff, and it's weird because the coaches that were in there, they always pushed marriage, and I never really understood why. They're like, if you are a married couple, you have more like leverage. Like if you're in business and you're a married person, then people trust your opinion more than if you're a single person.
That is true.
What is your thoughts about that?
In corporate, it is benefit you to be married.
The woman has more
tax
leverage.
benefits.
The key word is the woman has more leverage. The man doesn't.
But like the male, but in terms of the mentorship that I was getting, they were actually talking about the males.
But
They
that's
were like,
very
it
specific, though.
makes
Okay,
sense.
hold on. Who was the mentor? Was it a male or a female?
It was male mentors, and they were saying
And they were saying that who has more
to-
leverage, the man or the woman, is what
They were
saying.
saying the man has a leverage to have a woman on his arm, a woman that's classy, a woman that's presenting herself well, and that's showing that you're a man of a household and bringing a family household up together.
He's
They
a
used
blue
to
pill
say that all
retard.
the
He don't know what
time.
he's talking about. The woman has the leverage in every marriage. It's not the man. Once a man gets married and signs that dotted line,
Mm-hmm.
and especially if he makes more money and is more successful than that woman, she absolutely has him by the balls.
Yeah. In the corporate sense, in the workplace, yes. But in actual real life, after you leave work, no. Because in that sense, if the boss is married and you're married as well, okay, you know what? Who needs a raise here? He's married, he's stable. I'm gonna hire that guy for a promotion. Versus the guy's single. I don't know. He's okay, but this guy's married. I'll trust him a little bit more. But that's corporate.
But the other thing too, when you're single and you don't have a family, you can work harder. So it's a give and take. Like, yes, you might be more potentially trustable as a guy that has a family, but when you're single, you can work harder and you can just outperform that other guy that might have a family because you're not leaving at 4 or 5 p.m. And I know this from coming from a law enforcement background, etc. I used to smoke the guys that had families because I was willing to put in those extra hours. I was willing to do the late night surveillance. I was willing to write the affidavits and do all the raids and shit like that at weird times because I didn't have a family. And those are the guys that move up a lot of times. So yes, is it better if they have a family and they're a hard worker? Of course. But realistically speaking, who's more capable of working hard? Someone who's single.
Right.
Do you guys believe in getting married?
Okay, so that's a really good question.
For
I
family?
believe in it as a practice. However, it's a broken institution in the West and it doesn't work in America.